Hello, free thinkers and patriots. This is Colonel Liberty. Another day and more craziness in our Western world. Whether it's the ridiculous situation in Ireland where native Irish can't even afford to live, yet their democratically elected government is shipping in migrants by the boatload. The government over there's argument is they need more migrants to provide essential services like medical workers. But if you're like me and you check out the videos coming out of Ireland, just about every single immigrant I've seen is a young man without any family, predominantly coming from either Eastern Europe or Muslim countries. Last time I checked, there aren't any wars going on in Algeria or Romania, right? Or there's the aftermath of the recent attempted assassination in the USA. I have to take my hat off to the Americans. They don't put up with rubbish. The director of the Secret Service has resigned because of the recent Trump attempted assassination, and it's another example of a diversity, equity, and inclusion hire that went wrong and should never have happened. When will people learn we should be hiring based on merit, not the color of someone's skin, their gender, their sexuality, or whether they consider themselves to be a cat or a tree? Putting the craziness aside, an issue that's been on my mind: the lack of assimilation by some immigrant communities in Britain. I came across this video from a British patriot who calls himself the traditional bricklayer. And this fella is a true philosopher. He was caught up in the recent Bangladeshi so-called community. And I'm loath to use the term community because it should be one community in Britain. Anyway, he was caught up in the recent Bangladeshi protests in one of the most sacred places for British people in London, Trafalgar Square. I'll play a short clip of it now.
So we come down, there's a little mobbing. Look, we'll have a look at them, shall we? I'm just rattling my brains, Mr. Officer. I'm not filming you, I'm filming myself. What has this got to do with the motherland?
We've got a right to protest.
What, in our land? Why don't they go and sort it in their land? You see, I'm just saying from the common man's point of view, we're just trying to understand.
I can't answer that question.
Even if they're English born and they're so passionate, why don't they take this back to their Bangladeshi land?
It's a human right, freedom of assembly.
But it's not in their country. If I'd done this in Bangladesh, I'd be hung, drawn and quartered and stoned.
I can't comment on another country, but it's a human right in our country, isn't it?
Why the country's getting mad? Where's me pal? Where's he gone? Oh, God.
I want to share my thoughts here. Britain has long been a destination for those seeking better opportunities, a safer life, and a place to call home. This great country offers so much. It offers freedom, stability, and a rich cultural heritage and history. Yet, something is not right. People don't want to be British. Instead, they want to keep their old identity and carry on with their lives as if they are living back where they came from. Even blind Freddie can see that many, not all, but many migrants just don't want to make the effort to integrate. Instead, they're bringing their own culture and politics and creating isolated communities within this proud nation. I really struggle to understand this mindset. When you move to a new country, it's only natural to embrace the values, culture, and traditions of that place. It's a sign of respect and gratitude for the opportunity to live in a great country like Britain. Yet, what we often see is the opposite. Immigrant communities are not assimilating. They are sticking to their own ways and expecting native British people to accommodate them. This is where I find a great deal of hypocrisy. Virtue signaling leftist intellectuals and politicians who are constantly telling us that we must bend over backwards for immigrants, showing endless tolerance and acceptance. But the question is, why isn't that favour returned? Why aren't these immigrants making an effort to integrate and show respect for the country that has given them so much and asked for so little? The winds of change are blowing, and I can feel it, and I'm sure you can too. The British political elite are about to get a rude wake-up call from an increasingly frustrated and hostile native British population. People are tired of seeing their culture and traditions being trashed. They are fed up with being told they must accept and accommodate while there is no expectation for immigrants to do the same. The question we need to ask ourselves is simple. Should immigrants be encouraged, maybe even forced, to take up British culture and values? And if they don't want to, then maybe it's time that visas are cancelled and immigrants are returned back to where they came from. Or is that asking for too much? We need to have this conversation because the current trajectory is unsustainable. Protecting our values, our culture, and our way of life needs to be prioritised. And British people shouldn't have to apologise for who they are and their history. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Let me know in the comments. Do you think immigrants should be required to assimilate and embrace British culture? Or do you believe in maintaining separate cultural identities within the country? Thanks for listening. And if you believe in protecting our freedoms and our institutions in Western countries like the UK, Ireland, Australia, Canada, and the USA, then join me and subscribe. It helps me grow this channel and connect with amazing patriots like you. Together, we can make a difference. This is Colonel Liberty, signing off.